June 27th, and coronavirus numbers are raging out of control. What are we going to do? Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. Occasionally, we make it Project Rely, where we rant, educate, lead, and inspire. Today will be somewhat of a rant. And I want to start off by giving you a little story that kind of illustrates the scenario that we find ourselves in with our leaders. You know, recently, because of this COVID-19 epidemic, when you go to the supermarket, if you're somebody that is a meat eater, you've seen that the price of meat, steak, hamburger, everything has shot through the roof. And obviously that hurts the meatpacking industry a great deal. So I want to tell you this story about what they did and see if you can't relate it to our scenario right here and right now. One of the western states that relies heavily upon meatpacking for, you know, the welfare and income of its people decided to send their governor to a country over in one of the other continents, let's say Africa as an example. And in this particular country, they have discovered kind of a neat way to raise cattle and make them larger so that the cattle are healthy, they multiply more quickly, and they're able to serve their people better by supplying more food. And in today's times, that's certainly an essential item. I'm sure you'll all agree. So this governor went to this country over, like I said, we'll say in Africa, and met with some of the leaders in that industry. And they invited him to speak to a group of people. And he was more than happy to do that as a visiting dignitary. And so he stood up in front of the people. Now, these people, they understand some English, but not a whole lot of English. All right, so he stood up and he said, "I feel honored to be speaking with you today." And the crowd yelled, "Gazoonga!" And then he said, "I applaud the progress you've made raising healthy and large cattle." The crowd screamed, "Gazoonga!" "We in the United States are anxious to work with you and help you to improve your standard of living." Gazoonga! Let's all lock arms and work together and support each other. What do you say? Gazoonga! Wow. The governor was super impressed and said to the people that were, you know, sponsoring him with this speech, I said, "Boy, you know, it felt good to get that kind of support from the people. I really appreciate their response." He said, "Now, would there be any sort of a safety hazard if I were to go and actually visit one of these farms where you have you know, the cattle growing where it's taking place? Because I'd really like to go and see it firsthand." And the people that were running the show said, "Sure, no problem." Okay, no problem. So they get to a farm, and for miles and miles around, all you see are the cattle. And over in the distance, he saw one of the farmers, one of the workers, one of the hands working with some of the cattle, and they were all very peaceful and very docile. And so the governor said, "Would you have any problem? Would there be any danger in me walking over and seeing what's going on over there?" And the man running the show said, "No problem. It's very, very safe, but you got to watch out for one thing. Make sure you don't step in any gazoonga." Hello, McFly. Yesterday, June 26th, Friday, the group that It's headed by the Vice President, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx, spoke once again after a 2-month absence, and the Vice President stood up in front of the nation on national TV and said, hey, we've flattened the curve. Things are going well. It's the younger people that are starting to get infected. Things are going well. The numbers are working in our favor. Can you please explain to me why everyone in the crowd didn't yell, Gazoonga? Because clearly that's what it was. So the first thing we have to do as a people is recognize that our leadership is giving us a whole bunch of Gazoonga. And it's time for us to lock arms together in spite of the leadership, which sometimes you have to do so that we can move forward. So the first thing is to identify the unsolved opportunity, also known as the problem. And right now, quite frankly, leadership is a major part of the problem. So we have to overcome that. The next thing, my next video that I'm going to talk about is a simple solution to solve the coronavirus. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, no Gazoonga there, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.